So today I have like 10 followers, but today I want to share a wonderful dream that I had yesterday. And so I woke in the morning, I woke Satya up and I said, you know what, Satya, I had a dream. We always share our dreams with each other. So today I told him, you know what, Satya, I had this amazing dream underwater. And he was like, yeah, okay, I'm all ears. And he was waiting to tell his dream afterwards. But I said, no, I have something very, very interesting. So we were looking at houses around the Greater Seattle area just for knowledge. We are not really serious about purchasing a house here. But we're just looking around. Um, and then so when I woke up, I saw myself. I was partially awake. I saw myself in a floating city, and the the house that we had was a beautiful villa, and it was called me delusional, but I really saw all of this, and I feel it's I felt it was real. So there was this floating city. It was anchored on the side of I don't know. It was on an ocean. There was the city had one floor on the top, one or two floors on the top, villas on the top, and the commercial downtown areas underwater. And so I was in this house. I do not remember the interiors of the house, but the exterior was beautiful. Um, so from the door was not like in a traditional box kind of a house. This was the future. So the door was like an igloo, and there was a curved shape, and the idea was this curved shape thing was all glass, and the door was also made out of some unbreakable glass, and so there's a lot of light coming in. And on the top of the door there were all these small mini lights, but the specialty of these lights is they don't diffuse, and they had this focus. The light was like, it was a there were small beams like laser, but not as focused. So it created some sort of a um, pathway on the outside, illuminated pathway from which the guests could walk in. That I found really interesting. And I looked up, and there was a drone, a small drone. It was power packed. One, it had the same lights around it, so it could illuminate the sky. Um, for us. And the second thing, on top of that, there was also this folded tent-like structure which opened into a makeshift tent right in front of your house. So that was really nice. And then I also saw a couple of um, teenagers, teenagers to adults, well-dressed ladies walking into the house. The next thing that I saw was yeah, we had 10 antique car, like a bunch of antique cars parked on the side, because those were obsolete by then. Nobody really cared for them. They were not using them. So it was only for only vintage purposes. And so we had 10 of them. And then there was, yes, the next thing that I saw was, I went to the pyre. There was a pyre right from our house, and I went there, and they had this beautiful olden day lamp shades kind of things, very beautifully lit. And I saw a dolphin come very happily from the sea or ocean. It greeted me, and then it went underwater underneath, and I realized that it was my pet. And so we had an aquarium underneath the house, and that's where it lived. And in the morning, it just went out and swam by itself. So there was that. And I don't know how many other pets we had. I also saw stringies. Um, Light was reflecting off of the stringies, so there was beautiful aura around it. There was a bunch of that. And then what I also saw was I was dressed in a beautiful ball gown, and my husband, He was dressed in a suit. I wondered if it was a wedding cocktail party or something. I don't know. And the next thing was we looked young. Like this was not far into the future. This was probably we were in our 40s or something. I don't know. Maybe 5 years down the line. I am really not sure if it's possible, but there was that. And then what else? The downtown was underwater, like I said, and people were walking around, and there was this aquarium underwater, and people didn't bother much because they were used to the sight every single day. And uh, yeah, it was stunning. It was brilliant. It was beautiful. And I got really curious. And when I woke up, I looked up online to see if there were any floating houses being constructed. Um, very fascinated by the idea. And I saw 3 floating cities are being constructed right now. None of them look like the ones in my dream. So I'm assuming you're not going to purchase any for now. So one is in Maldives, uh, because Maldives is one of the lowest lying archipelagos in the world. So uh, very soon they will lose their homes to seawater, to rising sea levels. By 2050, that be happening. So they are constructing this set of alternative housing for the city people. Next thing is I saw Saudi Arabia doing it, and that didn't really strike my fancy. And the third one was Busan. So the United Nations is come is along with a company called Oceanix with an X. Uh, they have partnered to come up with this floating city in Busan that looked quite futuristic, but still, I doubt it if it's anything as beautiful as the things that I've seen, because, like I said, it had vintage lighting, and it's very beautiful, and a lot of flowers on the streets, and pyres everywhere, and yellow lights, and um, it's basically livable. It was not. It's not just futuristic. It's also a city. It's a beautiful city. So it had the old European charm to it on one side. It had the um, beach town vibe to it on the other side. It had the cicada sound at the back, very well in tune with nature. Um, yeah, so that was my dream, and hopefully, if they do construct such homes in the future, or maybe I like. Who knows? I'll come into contact someone and share these ideas, and hopefully live in a place like that. I mean, I can't imagine myself never living on land, because I feel like having a small house, like a really small house, tiny house, just for the basic needs, and huge land where you can like grow trees and offset all your ecological disturbances that we create, uh, would be an ideal kind of lifestyle for me. But in my dream, I saw that people use the lands only for farming, and there's hardly one farmer on each farmland, and most people, and the farmers were all like shirtless, dark colored, look like India, and so the land was being used for farming, uh, at least the farm that I saw, whereas the seas were being used for living. Mm, maybe that's the future. Who knows? Anyways, thanks for listening. Um, I mean, yeah, I don't care about the comments. I do care about the people commenting, but yeah, the comments are just, you know, everybody has an opinion, so they're all entitled to theirs, so it's fine. Anyways, I'm glad you guys listened to this. Do share your views on this, and yeah, if you had any weird dreams or any dreams about any kind of new housing situation that you guys thought about, do let me know. Thank you. Bye.